because we saw when it collapsed, when the roof collapsed.
Oh wow!
And because we've had 4 fires.
Haven't started.
3 fires. This is our 4th one in the neighborhood.
Oh man, my building caught on fire a couple of years ago. Well, not my complex, not my personal building. Mine was fine, but somebody ended up dying. It was really sad.
Respect the United States Supreme Court. I've argued 4 cases before it. I was a law clerk to Justice Blackmun.
All right,
By the way,
just a few minutes.
Minnesota.
Oh yeah, let's see. Share.
In fact, he was known
How do I share?
as one of the Minnesota twins when
How
he
do
was
I-
appointed because he was thought to be exactly like then Chief Justice Warren Berger, who also was from Minnesota.
Just getting ready to go on air.
Conservative views.
So,
And as it happened, Justice Blackmun became one
Those are
of
delicious.
the most
Thank you.
progressive members of
Is it just me or am I hot?
I'm
No.
hot too.
Oh my God.
It's hot in here.
Oh,
for growth
Yeah, I'm
and for learning.
I'm like low level sweat right now.
And I think it's one of
Hey, just getting set up, so I promise the show's coming.
characteristics of anybody who serves on the
Oh,
court.
I guess I don't need to share it to Darren Marshall.
I do think that the crisis of legitimacy is the result of
More.
divisions
Let's see.
within the court, the polarization and politicization that is drawing lines, the process that has happened in recent years in confirmation proceedings.
Okay.
yeah,
And
it's
so
really
I
hot.
really think that consensus building bridges with your colleagues will be immensely important. I think that's one of the
And
reasons
here
that
we go.
the president chose you. Have you talked to him?
You
That you have that kind of
you just want to like keep watching it and
forceful intellect,
cancel the show.
Mm-hmm.
Or that is the show.
We'll all watch it together.
that will enable you to do it. Maybe you could tell this committee about how you work on the sentencing commission, for example, or in your previous experience.
I hate how like it'll only let you share up to with 15 people. All right, we're about to go live. We're on Q4 Radio.
Personality in the time that I've is
We're about to start.
Yeah.
His
For the
apartment
new
and
time,
everything,
keep
so-
the cookie.
to
Mhm.
colleagues continually seeks
Mhm.
common
I
ground.
put one on yours. Oh no, I put one on right next
Oh,
to
here.
it. Yeah.
Got
Sorry.
it.
Hope
Oh, no,
to
no,
be able
that's
to
okay.
emulate if I
Dropping the ball, man.
I know.
when
Right?
I worked on the sentencing commission.
Are you kidding
Which
me?
is a 7
You're done already? No, you're not.
working on sentencing
No,
She
policy.
is one of the most well-spoken,
And
well-educated.
Oh,
Contentious
I
effort.
could tell
We're
right
gonna be
away.
doing the intro to the Male Supremacy Movement today, so
As commissioners,
um,
working on policy issues.
pretty excited. We're gonna try to keep it condensed,
sentencing.
maybe 15 minutes.
So
Have some
minute and a half
great
left.
people here to do it with. We're gonna read some super fun quotes, and we're gonna also read a poem called "I Liked You Better When You Had Long Hair." So it's
Yeah,
gonna
we
be
did
great.
3,000 on Friday.
Let's see, but I think it didn't print out. So I think
What are they picking?
so the poem I
Jewelry and concert. And jelly cats. Jelly cat stuffed animals too, which are like $30-$40, yeah.
just getting ready.
Yep.
Just
Oh, we got 45 seconds.
45 seconds. I know, right?
45.
All right. Well, unfortunately, it didn't print out the poem, but I have other quotes on here that y'all will read. And it's going to feel real gross, I'm sure, to say it out loud.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. it's
Gross is good.
just truth. It's stuff they put out here. Official platforms and everything, so.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to News. What news? Here on the Big Money Q K4 Radio, QUE4 Radio, 1680 AM. I'm your host, Darren Marshall, here with my co-host, Cathy Cline.
Hello there,
And the lovely and beautiful Miss Rachel Blomstrom.
Thanks, that's me.
Hey! Yeah, so how's everybody doing during this warm streak?
Oh my gosh, yesterday was absolutely beautiful.
Yes.
And then today it was very cold.
And now it's going to tank.
I know. I got a funny story to tell you.
Hence it's Chicago.
Yes.
Ooh.
All right. So, I haven't had a car in 17 years.
Yeah.
I mean, who needs one when you live right in Chicago? There's no
Exactly.
reason. So, I decided I wanted a car.
Mm-hmm.
And so, talking it over with my husband, Tim, we decided to get a car. So I've been researching since January all different types of cars, SUVs. I knew I needed an SUV.
You're getting a VW.
Yeah, I wish. No, and so I had to rent a car to look at a car, right?
And you like the car that you rented?
No, because it was a Camry, which was okay, but it cost me $100. I know.
To rent?
To rent.
For how long?
$100. Well, for 24 hours. Okay? So keep that in mind.
That's
So it's outrageous. Which was the main reason,
Yeah.
I wanted to get a car. So anyway, driving this car, and we told ourselves, okay, we're not going to buy the first car we see. Well, we liked the first car we saw, which took us to where I wanted to go, and for a different vehicle. But there was another one there, which, just made my heart thump. So anyway, we ended up buying a car.
Oh.
But what do you do when you can't drive that car home?
Yeah.
So I called to check to see if I could have a different drop-off. Okay? It would cost, keep this in mind, everyone, that if you change it to drop off at another location instead of where you bought it, or not where you bought it, where you were renting it from, it's anywhere from $150 to $500.
What?
Yes. So I couldn't do that. So instead, we drove home, and in this rental car, we did not do the preferable 75 miles. You have to put at least 75 miles on it, which I didn't know. I never knew
I
that.
never knew that.
Well,
Wait.
it's an additional $20 if you drive within less than 75 miles. And now this is with budget rent-a-car, so I'm telling everybody to be aware.
You didn't drive enough?
Right.
Exactly.
How could they penalize? Why would they penalize that?
That's what I don't understand.
What is the incentive?
Exactly. So I obviously raised a ruckus, and they took it off
Good.
at staff.
Good for you.
So we went
Yeah.
and picked up the car today, and now I have a vehicle.
Yay!
Yay!
Although I took the bus here because
Well-
it's hard to find a parking spot
Yeah.
where I live.
It's hard to find a parking
Oh,
spot
yes.
here. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
yes.
It's so I just decided to leave it there and take the bus. But anyway, I have a vehicle. Yay!
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 Awesome.
SUV. Woohoo!
Ooh. Hey, good for those trips to IKEA.
Oh my gosh! And we can and James can sit with us too.
Yeah.
There's plenty of room.
You hear that? Go digging. Yeah.
I sure love some Swedish meatballs.
Oh,
I just love them.
yes. What else did we?
Speaking of that area of the country and like Sweden, Germany, and all that, a big shout out to Mr. Thomas Bottoms, who right now might or might not be evacuating. That's why he's not here. And when I say evacuating, I don't mean the way Thomas usually thinks of evacuating. I'm talking about there's a big fire on Lawrence Avenue near. He's like less than a block away from where that fire is, I think.
Yeah, he needed to
Yeah.
stay home and
He
protect
needed to
his
stay
kitties.
home.
Yeah,
and-
that was smart.
Make sure the kitties are all right, because the kitties.
Because
Yeah,
we're on
the
Montrose,
kitties.
and we saw the helicopter first, and then we saw
Yeah, and
the
it really
smoke.
is.
And then we knew when the roof collapsed because it was just.
What is on fire?
It started at a kind of like a discount store, JoJo's, but it looks like it just went from JoJo's all the way down west on to the rest of the stores.
Jeez,
And
like a strip
it was
center, like a strip mall.
Yes. No. Well, no. It was just the buildings right on Lawrence. That's what's so sad.
They're so tight together.
Yeah.
They're so tight together.
So
yeah.
it was an 11 alarm fire.
Wow.
So there were.
Does that mean there's
3,
11
4.
fire trucks?
I didn't see 11 from the helicopter view. No, that you're right. It does.
Yeah.
That would make sense.
I always wondered. I wasn't
I know.
really sure. It's like, how do we know? Does that mean they rang 11 bells
Yeah.
in different departments? Or?
Maybe it does, because you think
I
3
don't
alarm.
know.
You think 3 alarm is bad, but 11. Are you checking it out, Darren?
Yeah, no,
Okay.
actually, Golden Ticket's very happy about the purchase, and says that he wants to go shotgun on. So, and he's calling
Okay.
shotgun already.
All right.
Lucky's calling
You
shotgun.
can't do it until you see the car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we're hoping and praying everything is all right with
Yes, we
Mr.
are,
Thomas
Thomas.
Bombs and Mikey Chip, and hope everything works out for him and his kitties.
Yeah.
You know, the cat lady man. The
Yeah.
cat lady man.
Cat lady.
Yeah.
He's a cat guy.
He's
Yeah,
a cat guy.
he
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. I'm a cat and dog and bird and
I'm an elephant girl.
I'm sort of.
I love elephants.
I love owls and
owls.
foxes.
Mm-hmm. And I love this little
Yeah.
dog right here.
Oh yeah.
I know. So
Miss Reese.
good.
So for me, the quarantine queens are kind of we're kind of like relaxing a little bit. If you're just now being introduced to me, I am the founder and artistic director of the Quarantine Queens Theater Company, which is an online international all women plus theater company, and we have some really great stuff out there. You should definitely check it out. And we do have a fun play coming up next month, which is called The Unkindest Cut. It's a just-in-time tell it's like a comedic noir story, and he's a literary detective, so he goes back into old stories and solves those crimes. Like, we did one where, and I get to play just in time. That's like one of my favorite characters ever.
Is the word dame used at all?
Absolutely. So much dames. Dames with legs for days. Yeah. absolutely.
I love that. Yes.
Look at
I love it. And like, because like as an all women company, like a lot of times we don't even like really assign gender or anything. And sometimes like, I do the whole like classic noir dress, and then I put my lipstick on because I feel like it looks pretty, and I still play everything exactly like he would. I don't know. I think it adds really fun twists sometimes to just see it performed by people you wouldn't think.
Yeah.
But
Right.
Yeah.
So-
See. Yeah.
I did we've done it. We've done 2 of them before. I'll show you. I think. One of them was a paid-for show. One of them we just did a reading, so that was free. But yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun. But I'm going to be pulling back on like how much we're doing work for the Quarantine Queens, because life has just gotten busy for everyone, and more projects are picking up. And I'm going to start working on this Male Supremacy Movement. I might be getting my own radio show, and pretty excited about a whole bunch of stuff.
That's excellent.
So.
Let's start off the conversation with Ketanji Brown, the Supreme Court nominee.
I'm impressed.
I am too.
She's gonna be the smartest, best judge ever.
I agree.
Just like, I'm glad they were like, can you give us some lessons right now? And so she just basically was teaching Congress how the courts work. Like they don't even seem to know. And Ted Cruz, what
Oh my
a
God.
fool. He's like, here, we've been using this quote, but let me say the whole thing. And she's like, oh, that was a question I asked. That's not
good.
something I stand by. It was a question.
Yeah.
Thank you for putting the whole thing there with the question mark. Moron.
Yeah, see, I missed all that because I was picking up my car.
It was a mess. Jim Jordan was there. Of all people, Jim Jordan questioning her about her stance on her cases on child pornography, and it's like, here's a guy who basically turned a blind eye to sexual harassment by on male college players, and he's questioning her views on how she
is.
child offenders, people.
It's so contradictory.
I mean, you know, and then Ted Cruz, to follow up with it, brings out this chart, and he's like, well, the prosecutor asked for this, and they asked for, I don't know, 60 months, and you gave them 55, which is a huge percentage decrease. And like, you didn't even put all the cases up there.
Yeah.
All of those were still at least within the standards of the entire country and what Congress suggests.
That's exactly what she said.
Yes,
she said
she's like,
Congress
good,
made
good.
the rules, so I'm just following the rules from Congress.
Yeah, I'm doing what Congress said. And he tried to make it look like she was soft on them. And then the next guy, who was it? He was like, actually, you aren't. The national standards, like you're with 70th percentile or something.
Yeah.
Like she agrees with 70% of judges on these rulings or this sentencing.
Mm-hmm.
So ridiculous.
Yeah.
And then Lindsey Graham wasting time talking about Amy Coney Barrett, not even asking questions, just talking about
they get the microphone and they know that, you know,
Fox News is watching.
all the cameras
Yeah.
are there, and they just act like idiots.
Yeah, he tried to get her to talk about her religion, and she's like, I'm hesitant to do that because obviously it has nothing to do with her job. And then he just went on and on about like how they did that to Amy Coney Barrett, and like, except for her religion says that her husband has to make all the decisions. It says she can't make decisions. That's problematic if you're going to be making decisions for the country.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was different. And he was like, I just want everyone to hear how, if a liberal says that they have religion, nobody bats an eye. But if a white conservative person does, everybody loses their mind. Like,
Oh, well, then he got into
What?
specifics.
No.
He's like, what religion? And she's like Protestant, and he's like, and he's like, well, can you, with the conservative, beliefs and everything, the evangelicals and the Christians, can you be, and I'm like, she's going to be fair. It's not, she's not using religion to form her decisions as opposed to Amy Coney Barrett, who would.
and has said, like, her faith guides her life.
Yeah.
Like, that is not what Kataji Brown said. She's like, that's my private business. Like, I was irritated that he even asked her what her religion was. And then he was like, could you be fair to a Catholic? And she was like, I'm fair to everybody.
Yeah.
That's one of the questions. It's a job.
Yeah.
You don't have to answer those questions.
Yeah, that's why he was, they do their leading questions.
It's a bullying question.
Yeah.
It's very bullying.
Oh,
Well,
absolutely.
they were bullying Kataji Brown Jackson all day.
Yeah,
I mean,
like she's some sort of
yeah,
pedophile helper.
yeah. They were harassing her all day.
Oh.
She laughed at them a couple times because it was so incredulous.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, one of the viewers said, politicians shouldn't impose their personal beliefs. I mean, judges aren't quite politicians. They're not supposed to be.
Yeah, they're not supposed to be.
So they're not really supposed to be pushing any beliefs. They're supposed to be impartial and judging. And Amy Coney Barrett, on the other hand, said many things like, "Well, that's against the Bible," or "The Bible doesn't say," like. She puts her faith first.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the other thing too is, while who was president for 4 years, there was some serious court packing going on.
Oh, yeah.
Some serious court packing going on, and that came up today. The topic of court packing, and it's like, how can we have 9 Supreme Court justices. Court packing does not mean putting more Supreme Court justices on the Supreme Court. Court packing means taking the people who will do your bidding and go and put them on the courts so that they will do your bidding and not the will of the people.
Yes.
That's what I consider court packing.
Yes.
But then it goes on. People are going on to say, yeah, but they want to raise the number of how many Supreme Court justices there are, and quite fairly, there is no law against how many Supreme Court justices. I think it was FDR tried to get a law passed that would state that anybody over the age of 70 should either retire, or if they do not retire, add on additional court seats per person that does not retire until they do. And they wouldn't, that law never came to be, but that would have meant that there would have been 15 if none of those Supreme Court, because there were 6 Supreme Court justices at that time that were over the age of 70.
Yeah.
It's frankly, I think that's a really good idea. I think that once you're at a certain age, like you should not have so much impact on the future of the country.
Yeah.
Like make sure your stuff is settled, and then get out of the way and let people run the country the way the majority of the people want to run the. You had your turn, now nobody will die. Except for the good ones.
So I think the most Supreme Court justices sitting at one time was 11, and the least I think was 5. It started out as 6.
There was a really great podcast series from the people who Jad Al-Warad. I don't know if y'all know. They did Radio Lab, and it's called More Perfect, and it is fantastic about the history of the courts, and tells you about all of the different people in it, and so interesting. Especially when you find out, it didn't used to have very much power at all. They tried to stop Andrew Jackson from genocide, and he was like, try to enforce it, and then went and killed people.
Yeah.
Straight up, they had no way to make anything happen.
Oh, Josh Hawley's up now with Ketanji Brown Jackson.
Oh, yeah.
He's
still
up
watching.
I wish I could watch this right now.
Well, I'm sure
we'll see clips.
Yeah, we'll see clips.
I'm sure we'll see clips.
I'm sure you can find the whole thing.
Oh, my God. That's going to be a train wreck.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. And there's, Josh Hawley really shouldn't be on the this committee because of his connections with the January 6th thing. Same with, a number of Republicans shouldn't be on there. But they are now.
Yeah.
Still too many.
Yeah, still.
They still have a lot.
Well,
more to
if
get.
you want, I can go ahead and introduce what the Male Supremacy Movement is.
Speaking of Josh Hawley and
That's a really good segue.
Yeah, so we could talk about some of that.
Sure.
Okay. Well, so I know I have brought it up before, and a lot of people aren't really aware of it. It's the Male Supremacy Movement is something that's been really frustrating because it doesn't get much attention. And let me tell you, this is a huge deal, and it's violent. And every once in a while, you'll hear about an incel, and you're like, what a loser. But he's not alone. So I was just showing Darren about this TikTok trend earlier where they had this music, like a Frank Ocean song, and then guys would have them sitting in front of the camera trying to look flirty or whatever, and then the text would read, what if I took you on a date, blah blah blah, I do something violent to you, and then you die, is the punchline. And it's all domestic violence. I showed him imagine I took you on a date and then stabbed you with my fork to death, or
imagine if I took you on a skydiving date and I pushed you out of the plane without a parachute,
and then you died. Ha ha ha. And
my
yes,
gosh.
and so they're calling it a joke. And here's the thing: it might be to them.
Yeah.
It might actually be a joke to them because the Male Supremacy Movement is totally hinged on violence towards women. They think it's hilarious. They talk about it in their groups. They have these chats or these stories they write. I mean, they're horrifying, and then some of them do it. So I wanted to, let's go ahead, and a lot of it can be called the manosphere. And Gab, 8chan, 4chan were huge social media places that brought these people together. So the movement technically started in the 70s.
I remember. I remember.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you may remember this. What is it called? The men's liberation movement in the
Yes.
70s.
Oh, yes.
But the men's liberation movement embraced female liberation and critiqued social gender roles. They fought for the right for stay-at-home dads. They fought against men being removed from the home and being excluded from emotional intimacy, and forced men to be protectors and providers. They wanted the human experience with a full life of emotional fulfillment. Super in line with feminism, right? And they worked side by side. But after a while, it somehow began morphing into angry white men who began fully embracing this sociological masculine gender role. And especially during the 80s and 90s, what they decided was it's women's fault. It's women's fault that they aren't getting their way. It's women's fault that they stopped doing what men told them. And they realized they didn't get their way constantly anymore, and that entitlement was waxing. So they decided they needed to get back to oppressing women. So
It's the old "you made me do it."
yeah. Like, if you won't stay in your lane, then we will put you there. And so in the manosphere, these guys, they have heroes. Do you remember Elliot Rodgers, the Buena Vista shooter?
No.
No.
Okay,
I
well,
don't.
he killed some college men and women, and was because women were denying him sex, and then the Chads in society were keeping him from getting it. So he killed both of what he thought. And he wrote this manifesto that these guys, especially incels, just like hero worship, and they're like, yes, we should have violence against women. They also have Rouge V from Return of the Kings. And I have some quotes here that I would like for you to read. Where is his quote?
Just so you know, back when I was a youngin', I remember one guy that was the voice and face for them. He had a really long beard and he wore a kilt. I can't remember his name, but
Wow.
Well,
I do not remember. I just
so
know
the-
that.
oh,
I'm
yeah.
sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, once they came out with, Playgirl, and, that was the equality, and that was what, Burt Reynolds, like
Yeah.
there was anything there anyway. But, that was starting the equality. I mean, and
Yeah.
then, of course, Gloria Steinem's movement, thank goodness she came out with
She
her.
actually, one of the guys who moved, Harry Crouch, was working side by side with her when he abandoned it and went straight men's rights movement.
Yeah, she came across some really
Yeah.
crazy, yeah.
Yeah, well, he seemed supportive at the time, but, then the more they thought about it, they're like, yeah, but we used to be able to tell women what to do. Like, why would we stop that?
Yeah.
So I'll get to the quote in just a second. I thought next I'll just mention some of the major players, and we'll do segments coming up about each of these individually because they all have their own thing to unpack. So there is the National Coalition for Men. They are largely focused on battling women trying to gain equality in workplaces. What they did is like some women conference that they were trying to bring women to come and network and help women build confidence in the workplace and meet people, and they wanted to go to this women's only event. They're like, you can't. So they sued them, and on the basis of discrimination because they're men. And that's basically what they do. And they have ruined businesses and taken all their money because they are little bitches. And they also have a website that literally outs rape accusers of campus sexual assault if the campus dismisses it or doesn't do anything. So,
wow.
so they put their images out there and their names, and they make them straight up targets. Let's see. There's another group called the PUAs, which stands for Pickup Artists. They enjoy the game of luring women into sleeping with them while also degrading them the whole time. These guys truly hate women and don't care whatever means it takes to get the sex that they feel they're entitled to out of them. You may have heard of negging. Are you familiar with that term?
It sounds familiar, but
It
I
does sound
don't.
familiar.
Yeah, but it doesn't.
It's the practice of insulting or undermining someone in the belief that diminished self-confidence and will make them more receptive to sexual advances. So basically, it's like a psychological game that, they'll do something like, that shirt's okay, but your friend's is prettier. But you're the target because they want you to fight for the attention and to like be like, well, why would you put me down, or
Yes.
something like that. And then there are the Return of Kings, who Rush V is an advocate for forceful and predatory behavior because women are only worthy of sexual pleasure and fertility. He's literally a pro-rape law advocate and thinks that women shouldn't be allowed to vote. Very much enjoys the Taliban's setup with women.
By the way, there was that one Republican representative, I think, who said that his daughter should just lie there and take it if she gets raped.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Oh
enjoy
my
it.
God. And that's
Might as
a
well
father.
enjoy it.
A father.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I can bring a whole quote of politicians. I'll just bring one of those one day. By the way, Rush V is also anti-Semitic, and that's why he gets along so well with the white supremacy movement. So these movements are meshing together.
Yes.
But only the white supremacists get talked about. But they're very much in line. MRAs, men's rights activists, while they are milder on their beliefs against women, they are more politically powerful. So they get things done. They do believe that, just like all other male supremacists, that women are intellectually and physically inferior, even though everyone knows men have like a low pain tolerance. Come on.
Yeah.
Really? Yeah. Okay, you can't take it. And the father's right movement also falls under them. And then there's the incels are particularly violent. Incel means involuntary celibate. And so just like Elliot Rodger I mentioned before, these guys are just driven by hate. They think that you should get sex out of women also violently any way they can. And they think coercion is a great way. Their anger is the one that most and they were teenagers, has the most calls for violence. So a lot of these like male shooters, they were incels. Most of those school shooters, incels. I mean, they are they fantasize it. These are the people who, when you get on their website, like those jokes,
Right.
that's their humor. But then they're also mad at chads. So they're mad at other men.
Yeah.
They're mad at the whole system.
Is there a demographic?
Yeah. So most male supremacy movement is largely comprised of younger white men. And they've continued recruiting. So it's like up to Gen X, maybe. Like that's the early side. But
Okay.
I mean, we're talking 13-year-olds getting recruited into it now. I mean, at this point, it's online, it's organized, and they have a movement. That's why it's called a movement.
Yes.
There is MGTOW, that's men going their own way, and they present themselves as male separatists and have chosen to remove themselves from the negative influence of women entirely, except they still won't leave us alone, so it's not really true. They gotta constantly scream at women and seek us out to tell us terrible things about us. And the red pillars, that's just anybody who admits to being, who thinks that feminism is a conspiracy theory and we're somehow a matriarchal society. And all of these morons like somehow insist that women have power and that they have to take it back.
Which is still why we aren't paid as much as men are.
Yeah,
And can't
but
get the jobs
they'll tell you
that
that's
men-
not because of sex though.
Yeah.
That's because we told you you're incompetent. So, what's kind of funny is how so many of their like beliefs are so contradictory. Like they think women are incompetent, but also conniving and manipulative, and that we use feminism to oppress men. But while other, sorry, my notes are kind of funky.
That's all right.
So I'm just going to read this part. This is from Southern Poverty Law Center. So many of the core tenets of male supremacist ideologies are contradictory. Adherents maintain that women are incompetent, yet conniving and manipulative. Some argue that women use feminism to oppress men, while other male supremacists seek to maintain and exploit existing structural gender inequality. Many male supremacists reduce women to the reproductive function, simultaneously shaming women for having sex while believing that sex is something women owe men, or that should even be coerced out of them. They are united by the common goal of explicitly and implicitly oppressing women and anyone whose gender diverges from rigid heteronormative archetypes. Male supremacist tenets also undergird much of the far right. And a lot of that belief is also anti-liberalism. They basically think liberalism is a very feminine thing. So I do have a couple of quotes. If you would like to read this one at the bottom is from Matt Fournay.
Okay.
And he's a Return of the Kings.
And it goes on the back page.
It should. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Does it? Yeah.
I just wanted to double check.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah,
okay. It ends with that C dash dash.
Okay.
Okay.
Matt Fournay, Return of Kings. No functioning, healthy society would allow Pulse, or the kinds of men who frequented it, to exist. No healthy society would mourn their passing. Indeed, depending on your perspective, Mateen was just taking out the trash, eliminating societal parasites via natural selection. When a man and a woman are attracted to one another, they are seeing the continuation of their tribe and the formation of the next generation. Babies are produced by heterosexual, the one most...
Oh, no.
No,
by
by heterosexuals.
Yeah, by heterosexual relationships, and all homo relationships ever produce is cum. That is... Yeah, it stopped printing on the back pages. So sorry about that.
No, that's fine. So I'm curious, so they believe in marriage...
Yeah.
So that they can...
Well, this is Return of Kings. So their ideologies, there's a little bit that will be different, and we'll go into it, but... yeah, so the Return of Kings believe in this heteronormative, this rigid thing, and that women should be oppressed. Mm-hmm. You know, kings in the home. That's what they're wanting to return to. And so they are also, anybody who's not that is bad for humanity. Like, genocide, bad. Like, that's what, you know, so that's why Mateen, who you mentioned, that's the person who killed everybody at the Pulse nightclub. Do you remember the Pulse nightclub shooting?
Yes.
We don't remember his name. They do. They love these people. They worship them. They, like, once you go violent, you know, like, that brings you a lot of popularity. I'll read one from... okay, so this is from Roosh V, who's also a Return of the King.
Okay.
He says... Make rape legal if done on private property. I propose that we make the violent taking of a woman not punishable by law when done off public grounds. If rape becomes legal under my proposal, a girl will protect her body in the same manner that she protects her purse and smartphone. After several months of advertising this law throughout the land, rape would be virtually eliminated on the first date as it is applied. So that's actual political movement.
So as long as it's at home, it's okay.
Yeah, if they come to your house,
then
it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I have this little poem from an incel that, Darren, do you want to come read this? Because I can't move everything. I think you're going to really enjoy this. Sorry to make you move.
That's okay. Okay, which one?
Okay, there's the poem.
Okay. This is by LB.
Do you need it bigger?
No. You looked much prettier with long hair. Looked much prettier with long hair. Don't give me that. Show me a smile. It's better to be natural. Oh, look, your arms are so hairy, hairier than mine. Not rowdy or older than myself, but definitely confident and intelligent and maybe even quirky, as long as she's thin and kind. Because I don't like fat girls. How do you find your dream woman? Where to find your dream woman on... Oh, that's something else.
Oh,
yeah.
No, that's part of it.
Where to find your dream woman online free. I think I'm still in love with Grace, but she ignores and blanks and shuns me, even after I started so much, yet she doesn't even seem to care. Hey, I'm very drunk. I see you, the little green dot next to your name, ha ha. Night then, I guess.
Oh my God.
Insane.
Insane.
Yeah.
This was a very popular poem because they all relate to it. And you see how just like all over the place it is?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So they have these little islands of thoughts, and then they just, like, especially the incels, they're
Yes,
just so full of anger, they just, bleh, like, word vomit on things.
Well, they just can't think for themselves.
No.
I mean, and
No.
to me, that is a mental illness. You know.
Yeah. And I have one more, and then I think if y'all have any questions, but otherwise I just kind of wanted to get the topic going. So I'm going to read this incel post. It says, I'm a 30-year-old virgin, and I think I'm forced to hate women. I mean, I don't want to hate women, but I feel as if I have no choice. Dating to me is this game that seems designed to make me fail. Why is that? Is it because I work a minimum wage job? Because I live with my mom? Because I don't have a car? I don't understand it. It's like I'm being mocked for my virginity and incompetence when none of it's my fault. There's a show called Power on Stars that's about a drug dealer in New York City. My mother watches it all the time, and I simply take a glance at it from time to time. Well, the show is loaded with sex scenes, lots of them. And to me, whenever I watch it, it's like the show is mocking me, like it's saying that I will never have this, that I have to pay a cunt if I want to obtain sex, and that the majority of people can have it for free. That makes me incredibly angry and would love nothing more than to rip out the show's throat. But I can't. So now I'm stuck here watching something I can't have and wondering why I haven't killed myself yet. Almost forgot to add that I'm black, but I hate black people because of what they did to me in the past. So just go ahead and throw in all the hatred he has there.
Yeah.
I forgot
Oh,
that bottom
nice.
part of the quote. But yeah. All, 30 years old, like that's where a lot of them are. I would say the most active in the group are 16 to 30. But yeah, so the Male Supremacy Movement.
They know how to pick that age.
Yeah.
Just absolutely. They know how to. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I started listening to this story about a guy who was friends with the Toronto guy who ran over 11 people, and they went to school together. And I just started listening to it. It's really interesting how very divergent he went. Like, he would find out later that he was writing, things like some of the most horrible things, which I didn't bring today because we're easing in. And also, I'd rather try to keep it light but it's really dark, and at some point, people have got to see some of these things. And he was just like sick to his stomach to find out his roommate was just writing these violent call pieces to murder and hate of women, especially, like sitting in the same room with him, like, hey bro, what's up? And he's like over here like, I'm gonna kill women, they should die, I want to feel their head squash under the wheels of my car, stuff like that, like nuts. So yeah, I think that's a heavy topic. That's probably enough of it for now. Or
It's so very scary for
yeah,
parents
I can't.
and families. That's
Yeah,
of the boys, and I will say boys.
it
And
is.
these-
I mean,
these
it's a
women,
male supremacy
these-
movement. Yeah.
I mean,
I mean, there are women who will be like, oh, I agree the women should be in the home or whatever, like women from religious backgrounds and whatever, like who will subjugate themselves. But I don't think that they think about or realize like the violent fixations and ideologies behind it.
Well, I'm going to paraphrase somebody we know, Mr. Flabby Hoffman. He is of the idea that we should, instead of making prostitution illegal, make it not only legal but free, so some of these nut jobs can actually get some.
See, and that's the thing.
And then calm down.
All they want to talk about is that these guys need sexual release.
Yeah.
No, you don't. No,
Yeah.
we're in a culture that is telling you that.
Yeah.
You are surrounded by men, and you all are making fun of each other on whether or not you're having sex.
It's the whole macho, quienes más macho.
You don't
thing.
need
Yeah,
sex.
and it's the Adam and Eve.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Yeah.
all Eve's fault.
Right. And that's like the second Genesis story.
Yeah.
It's in contradiction with the first one, with Lilith.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. But yeah, basically, they want slave wives.
Mm-hmm.
They do.
Yeah.
And, you know, and seriously, a lot of them, they sit around and think about, well, how can we get all men laid? Like, why? Why do we have to think, why not we just make men better people and then we'll have sex with them?
There you go.
Like, if you could just improve, like, the culture around this and your personality, and I know that you think violent thoughts about women, why would I want to have sex with you?
Right, exactly.
If you're putting it out
And
there in
being
the
called
open,
the C word. I hate that.
Oh,
word.
yeah. Sorry, I should have.
No,
Yeah.
don't worry. No, I just personally, I've always
Yeah.
hated it. I just think it's a disgusting
Oh,
word.
so-
I have a lot of British
So
and
you have-
Australian friends, so.
yeah.
Yeah, no.
So you
I
haven't
understand.
seen Afterlife.
No, but I do. Yeah,
You know-
I
Ricky Gervais uses that word a lot in the series. Yeah. Okay.
One of the things I was thinking when you brought it up, like, I wanna find something from moms, like, when they find out, but like, why so? I don't recall reading anything about. No, ma'am. Why so many families don't seem to see this happening?
Yeah.
And I think a large part of it, you know, just off the top, is that this doesn't get talked about enough. This doesn't get
No,
talked.
it doesn't.
The language isn't
Yeah.
out there. But like Roosh V, when I was here back in 2015, when I was in grad school in 2015, he tried to hold pro-rape rallies in multiple locations.
What?
And yeah, well,
That's
well, those of us who have been watchdogs for it, like, people were invaded, kept finding it, and like they'd have these secret handshakes. You'd meet someone, and then they'd take you somewhere, and it just kept getting infiltrated, and so they couldn't do it because they felt unsafe. They felt unsafe, so he canceled it.
Does the secret handshake have anything to do with rubbing up a finger in somebody's palm?
Probably. Probably.
Just saying.
Don't Reese. Yeah.
Reese is laughing with us.
Yeah.
Yeah, she gets excited.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so much to this. Like, I'll bring on pieces here, but I think I'm going to put together like a whole like video to share. People on my TikTok have been wanting to hear more about it too. So yeah, we'll see. I think it's very important, super important. I know, and I even skipped some stuff. I know I have, but
Why
it is
aren't the schools covering this? The
because
schools
boys
are
will
the-
be boys.
Well, that's true. Yeah, but it does need to be. You know, that's what a counselor is for, to make
Yeah.
sure that the
Yeah.
parents know what's going on and the kids.
But of course,
but the thing is,
there's
like,
some parents that don't want.
but the
counselors.
schools aren't paying.
Yeah.
The schools aren't doing anything already. They have warning signs for these school shooters and still not stopping it. And the school shooters aren't usually alone. They have friends.
Oh, of course.
They have friends.
Right.
And their friends think the same things. And online, they probably have like a whole audience of people like,
Oh, absolutely.
kill those
Oh,
people. Yeah. I know. We go to a jazz night, and when everyone claps and stuff and
Yeah.
like cheers in between songs, she knows that's when we cheer.
So, that's it for the segment, right?
Yeah, I was just, I'll just
no, I
close
didn't
with
know.
saying
There was a
that
pause.
they
Yeah.
all advocate for the subjugation of women,
Yeah.
and they aren't splitting hairs. It's not being misinterpreted by me or anyone. They mean every word they
Kind of obvious.
say.
Yeah.
They've shown us time and time again. They are terrorists because they do have a political agenda.
Mm-hmm.
They are just terrorists. And how do we get to modern violence on women? Through children and fathers, just like QAnon.
What is the
Yeah.
movement that was during the 90s when the men would, the religious, but they wanted to be good dads, and so they why can I not think of that?
When was it? The 90s?
Yeah, and they were religious, but they went because they wanted to be good fathers, and so they all gathered together at the Capitol, I wish I could remember. Sorry, I can't remember the.
Yeah.
But it was
I
so
remember
wonderful. Yeah,
it, but I
yeah.
don't remember the name.
Yeah, and it was just so wonderful because these men truly wanted to help one another and learn things.
Yeah,
so that
in
they
the
could
early
help their
movement.
families. And now I don't know what
Yeah.
happened to that group.
Well, what happened is they didn't get their way right away, which men are kind of generally used to. And so when that didn't happen, well, it must be women's fault.
Yeah.
I think in some instances, yes, I think you're right. In some instances, absolutely.
I mean, and some of them out there, some of the men's rights activists, like, they do bring up good points. Young boy suicide is huge. But the problem is the culture that, like, the men's rights activists create puts the pressure on these kids. Like, they are their own problem. You know, they are creating this atmosphere with violent patriarchy
Yes.
that leads these kids, like, some of them are very sensitive. Like, boys are sensitive. Boys have feelings. And they deserve to be able to, like, cry in public, too. And it's really sad. And it's really sad to see them go from, you know, probably sensitive young boys into violently angry boys who feel like they're owed sex and the world and are being denied everything.
Promise keepers.
Promise
Keepers.
That was it. Promise
I'm
keepers.
going to look that up.
And then I think the Promise Keepers ended up going in a different direction.
Yeah, they probably
Yeah.
didn't get the support that they wanted to get, and yes, it did go into
It did,
it.
yeah, because they were actually tied to January 6th too.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah.
Because it started in Colorado.
Yeah, Colorado Springs.
Yeah, so the Promise Keepers were tied to a lot of things that happened during the Trump years,
No.
including January 6th.
Who's that?
So, yeah.
Do y'all know who Dixie Normus is?
Oh, please.
Somebody just asked me if I've ever worked with Dixie Normus.
No, stop saying that. Stop saying that.
You got me good.
I didn't hear the last name.
Enormous.
Oh. Gosh.
Oh, that's so silly. That's so juvenile.
You just feed into it. Stop.
Oh.
Of course, the gay man's the first one to get it.
What?
Yeah, I know. Somebody he wrote it to me twice. He was like, "Hello," and I'm thinking, "Oh, is it some other activist?" Like,
Nope.
no, it's not. It's a joke.
Yeah.
It's Bar Simpson over here.
Yeah.
My doctor says I quit getting so many nosebleeds if I could just keep my finger out on my nose.
Burning. Oh Lord.
Me feel English? That's impossible. I love Ralph. He's my favorite.
Yeah. So yeah, Holly was up there. I'm reading little things about. Holly reading transcripts of her comments in past cases.
I'll be right back.
Is he a victim, says, of a defendant in a child porn case, and he also has. It's been brought up that he has talked more about child porn in his portion of
Well, there you go.
than any other Republican combined.
If
So-
that doesn't give you a hint, right
yeah.
there.
Yeah. What was the famous Goebbels line that keeps being repeated? Accuse those of what you are guilty of. Accuse others of what you are guilty of.
I don't remember how
I think
that
that
goes.
was. Yeah, I think that's the quote. Accuse
Okay.
others of what you are guilty of. Like, for instance, when Trump says that the Democrats are doing something and he's actually
And he's doing it. Yeah.
Accuse others of what you were.
It'd be great if she just turned that question around and said, "You seem to be bringing this up quite a bit. Is there something you'd like to share with us?" You know.
Yeah, it's like the most inappropriate people to ask that question of her. Ask that question, Jim Jordan.
I guess they want to
Yeah.
see if they, if
All
they
they
have
needed was-
something in common, and that it was
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. All they needed was Matt Getz to be up there, but he's not. So, but if Matt Getz, Yeah. I was like, yeah. So, Jeff Tiedrick, it's Jeff Tiedrick on Twitter says, "What's on Josh Hawley's laptop?"
Good. That's good.
Because breaking
news.
Well, Anonymous is back in action. You know that.
Oh, yeah, good.
Yeah.
I always wish I could have been a hacktivist.
This isn't really breaking news. It happened 6 hours ago. But they said they had released 10 gigabytes of data from Swiss company Nestle. This is the collective's retaliation for continuing the company's business in Russia. So basically, they're after Marjorie Taylor Greene too. Anonymous is
good.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. So, you know, it's them. I think Papa John's is not another company that's not leaving Russia at all.
Of course not.
Yeah. So Anonymous
He's
is.
probably over there just serving.
Well,
everybody
see,
free
the
pizza.
whole idea behind Anonymous though is that we've been going through so many different hacks in the past 4 or 5 years, 6 years maybe, from Russia, and nobody even bothered thinking should we be hacking them back and trying to do to Russia what they are trying to do to us,
I think they've been hacking into us a long time.
Yeah.
It was a lot, harder for them before computers.
Yeah.
And now, since they've got the computers from 40 years ago, they just kept it up. And
I at one point when I got out of the Navy and I was looking to just do some part-time work, I really wanted to get this job at this spy tech shop. I love all that stuff. I thought being a hacker would be so cool, but I'm so bad with computers. When I went in the Navy in 2007, I started working on equipment from all the way back to the 70s. So from 2007 to 2012, while I'm in, there was this huge tech boom, and I was working on legacy equipment, and I still have not caught up. I don't think I have. But yeah, I don't know. Hacking just sounds so cool. And I was working at the spy tech shop, and the different kinds of things you can do, legally as just a citizen to track other people if you're in a one-party consent state. Pretty dope. But by the way, if somebody's recording conversations with you here in Illinois and you don't know, that's illegal.
Exactly. Yeah.
I don't know how it would work if it was cross state, because Texas is a one-party consent state. So I wonder if the person who called from Chicago to Texas recorded, if that person in their state doesn't need to know.
Yeah.
I wonder what I don't know. Somebody asked Kadaji Brown. She'll know.
Yeah.
Yes.
Speaking of which, Mary Trump just tweeted out the fact that 2 seditionists still sit on the Judiciary Committee and have the opportunity to ask this brilliant woman any questions at all is maddening. The tenor of their questions and what the senators themselves are implying make it even worse.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. I mean,
I like her.
I like her a lot,
and
too.
I do too. I want to be her friend.
Yeah. And we
needs
were
to
talking about
run for
Clarence
an
Thomas.
office.
He was supposed to show up again today and didn't.
Who?
Now,
Wait,
is he
what?
Still in the hospital.
Still in the hospital, I think.
I think that was a convenient.
Who?
Clarence Brown.
Clarence Thomas.
Or Thomas, sorry. I think that was very convenient of him
Mhm.
to go into the hospital.
Yeah, it was very convenient.
Yeah, considering he's already been through this,
He needs
what,
to be impeached.
in,
Yeah, he needs
20
to be
years
impeached.
ago. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
He should never have made it.
No,
his
he shouldn't
wife-
have.
No, I
And his
watched
wife-
all of that because I was in,
Yeah.
at the radio station,
Yeah.
and oh my God, it was just disgusting. And so you're
I wonder how
about 30
Biden
years
is
ago.
going to feel about that, since Biden's the one who helped oversee him getting in, because he was the one hosting the congressional.
Yeah, there's a lot of things Biden. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of regret there.
yes, absolutely.
So
I mean-
Biden helped him in. Biden can push
Yeah.
him out, I hope.
which makes me wonder what's going to happen.
Well, that's up to Congress, isn't it? To Senate. I think it's
Senate.
the Senate. The Senate has to do that.
I don't think we can get the Senate to convict him.
Yeah.
Does it have to be
no.
60-40?
This is why the midterms.
Yes.
Yes. This is why the midterms, people. Yeah, we talk about midterms. Yeah. So. Anywho. So, what else is going on? Again, hoping everything's okay. I don't have any updates on the fire, but,
No updates.
Um,
I know, you're just like, can't turn away from Kataji Brown.
because I almost forgot about this. Senator Mike Braun, Republican from Indiana, said the Supreme Court was wrong to legalize interracial marriage in Loving versus Virginia in 1967, and that states should be allowed to ban interracial marriage if they want to.
Wait, who said that?
Yeah. Wait a
Senator
minute.
Mike Braun from Indiana, Republican, of course.
He thinks that people should be able to ban
Racial marriage.
interracial marriage.
That's Indiana.
That's Indiana.
I mean,
He said this after calling for Roe versus Wade to be overturned, saying it would be hypocritical.
They're really trying to overturn Roe v. Wade.
yeah.
Well, as I said, this is the last gasp of the Republican Party. They went so far to the right that now there's no turning back.
Well,
So,
it looks like a few are, and I don't know if you remember, I mentioned like a few months ago when Mike Pence finally just came out and said, no, Trump's not right about this.
Yeah.
And he basically started separating himself. I feel like the classical Republican Party is going to try to rally around him because, and Mitch McConnell will make the difference because Mitch McConnell, God, that guy makes moves.
I had working in Lexington, Kentucky, I had a weekly show with him every week while he was in D.C. And I'm telling you, he just is, oh my God, he's just so gross. He's just gross, and he's just so out of touch, and he needs to retire.
Yeah.
Yes.
Get rid of him. In 1972,
He's just like a
when I was
gross
in
bag
high
of skin.
Yeah, I was in high school, and I was the vice president of student council, and we went to our regional meeting, and Roe versus Wade was on the agenda, and we voted at it as high school students. And of course, I was, for Roe versus Wade, and I'm thinking how far that has come, and you've got to be kidding me. Why does this need to be overturned? I mean,
Right.
It's like
What year was it
50?
passed?
well, it was passed, I think, in 73.
So it's almost 50 years.
It's almost 50 years
Yeah,
next year.
exactly.
Right. It's not, yeah.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter that we have statistics to show that it lowers the, mortality rate of mothers.
Oh, well, you're talking about young men and women, 17, 18-year-olds. I think some people
And
are
just the
even
abortion
16.
rate itself dropped.
I mean, abortion wasn't even legal at that time, except for in California and and New York. And I mean, even we, as coming from that generation, we knew it was a woman's right to do that, and to thank God it was passed.
Yeah. Well, in the 70s, we also almost abolished prisons.
No.
Politicians were going and staying in, and they're like, this is the most inhumane thing. Like, we shouldn't have them. And then, who was it who came in and, reinvigorated, or the war on drugs came and reinvigorated it, and they're like, you know what? We put people back to work for free.
And then it became corporately sponsored, and then
Secretly.
it's profitable, and you make money off of putting people in prisons now.
And then even veterans' homes, they weren't back then, they weren't any better than they are now. It's horrible.
They're
And
horrible.
you're talking about, World War II veterans, and then you got, the Vietnam veterans. It was just, Korean War.
Somebody just used the phrase on Twitter, Clarence Thomas is hospitalized for not COVID. For
Is
not
that-
COVID.
all Nixon. Yeah, probably Nixon.
Yeah.
Ukraine, huh? How about that?
Yep. you know,
There's been some claims that they've taken back a couple of key towns.
yeah. As a matter of fact, I think Ukraine almost Mariupol. I think
It's just ruins. Zelensky says it is just ruins like Armageddon.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, I have to say part of the United States stance on the airspace is, I think, correct. That if we decide to go and close up their airspace, it's going to be World War III.
I agree.
Because you're not dealing with somebody normal.
No.
No.
This is not normal. This is why we were all yelling and screaming about voting Trump in, because he would have his fingers on the football.
Right.
He would have his hands on the football. And no.
Well, Japan's mad right now, too, because Russia withdrew from peace treaty talks with Japan. And then they froze joint economic projects related to the disputed Kuril Islands because of sanctions imposed by Tokyo over Russia's invasion, obviously.
Yeah.
I didn't realize this. They have still not formally ended World War II hostilities.
What?
Yeah, because of the standoff over islands just off of Japan's northernmost island, Hokkaido, known in Russia as the Kurils and in Japan as the Northern Territories. The islands were seized by the Soviets at the end of World War II. Under the current conditions, Russia does not intend to continue negotiations with Japan on a peace treaty, the Russian Foreign Ministry said, and then citing Japan's openly unfriendly position and attempts to damage the interests of our country.
Wow.
Yeah.
I never. I mean,
I didn't know
thought
that either. Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida said he strongly opposes Russia's decision, terming it unfair and completely unacceptable, end quote. This entire situation has been created by Russia's invasion of Ukraine, and Russia's response to push this onto Japan-Russia relations is extremely unfair and completely unacceptable. Japan must resolutely continue to sanction Russia in cooperation with the rest of the world. So that's what they're doing.
Somebody, there's a couple of things I'm seeing on the Twitterverse. This also came out too, and I saw this the other day, and somebody brought it out. Yeah, they were talking about abortion and stuff like that. There is a thing going on where some states are trying to outlaw pills. The pill.
We're back to this.
But
There are so many
that
problems in our country.
First of all, there are so many pills out there.
Now,
Yeah. And so, I mean, if one doesn't work, the same old thing. You try again. And so
Like-
I just can't believe that.
But women use the pill for things other than just birth control.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
they use it for health reasons. What are you going to
Exactly.
tell? You can't treat anybody with estrogen anymore, or testosterone, or progesterone? Is that what they're saying?
It's bad enough we have the menstrual cycle.
Yeah.
So a lot of that's
baby.
that's where the pill comes in and helps
yeah.
ease it. This was a man, probably a male scientist, that decided something.
And then going back
Sorry.
to the Ukraine situation, the Senate voted on getting weapons to Ukraine, and there were 30 Republicans that voted no, and 31, and they're all saying that Ukraine needs weapons, but they voted no on a weapons package.
Well, President Biden and the rest of the world leaders are going to hold a set of emergency summits in Europe this week. And so they think that they're going to hopefully agree to enough of this bloodshed in Ukraine and announce a further package of sanctions on Thursday
I don't
in
know.
a couple of days. So.
I usually, I'm usually kind of like, I just think sanctions only hurt poor people, which we are definitely seeing happen in Russia. Like, people are fighting over literal sugar in the grocery stores.
Yeah.
Like it's really sad, but
See, here's
what else can we do here? This and the sanctions we're doing now, these are being effective. We never do sanctions this effective. We only ever do sanctions on poor people when it's countries with people who aren't white.
Yeah.
But since they're white, what now we can finally do it the right way?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, come on. Also, Corey said that the U.S. Department of Defense said that the accidental Russian admission of nearly 10,000 Russian soldiers is being dead is probably accurate.
Yeah.
So they've probably already. It's like it's a very deadly war.
Did I say 10,000? I didn't mean 10,000.
Yeah.
They are stupid, man. It's always the stupidest, most unlikable people who end up in power. Like, it's mind blowing. It's baffling. Like,
well, it's 5:04. It's time for the
yeah.
Do we want to go with music, movies, or TV?
Movies.
TV.
TV?
TV.
Oh, sorry.
TV?
TV's great.
Okay.
TV's great.
TV's great.
Okay. So, fabulous new competition reality show for you guys that if you have Netflix, you'll love. It's called Is It Cake? And it's hosted by Mikey Day from Saturday Night Live. And they have...
I saw the photo,
Oh, it's so good. Okay, so you have all these pastry artists, okay?
Okay.
And each week, 3 of them go up against each other to make the most realistic-looking thing that is not cake, a cake. So, for instance, they had one artist do a purse.
Oh, wow.
A cake that looked like a purse.
Yes.
But then what they do is they have 3 celebrity judges, and the 3 celebrity judges have to decide within 15 minutes which one of the 6 purses is actually the cake.
Yeah.
So you gotta try to buy a cake.
It's so good.
Or, what,
They gotta buy purses.
No, they have
looking
to.
inside the cake.
No, they're
See if
not.
it was open.
They have to see it from afar.
Okay, all right.
They're giving these 6. They're looking at 6 cakes and they're trying to see if there's any flaws or anything, and then they vote on which one they think is a cake. And then Mikey Day goes over to whatever it is with a knife and tries to cut it. And if it's a cake, it'll slice through and they show the cake. If it's not, then the artist wins.
Yes.
Now, if all 3 artists win, and it's different items too. The one artist does one item, another artist does another item, and another. So there's 3 different items, and each one is surrounded by the same sort of similar item.
I love that.
So if all 3 artists are make it and fool everybody,
Yeah.
then they go by taste.
Okay.
The winner of that round then goes on to, they win $5,000 from that, okay?
Oh, wow.
And then they go on to another round where the artist has to guess which 2 bags of money or purses of money or whatever of money
Yes.
is cake.
Oh, cool.
And if they guess the cake correctly, they win $5,000. If they don't guess it correctly, the money rolls over into the next episode.
Okay.
And that winner goes on to pick 2 other challengers. Now I'm up to where they went through all the different artists, and the next episode there's supposed to be a new twist to it.
Okay.
So they keep the same artists, but now I think they start getting rid of them one by one.
Oh, wow.
But
To answer and respond. I'm sorry, I have a TikTok problem. I was trying to keep it on just TikTok over here.
That sounds like so much
it's
fun.
a lot. It is a lot of fun.
I didn't mean to not comment.
Especially with the artists.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
To be that creative and...
Oh yeah, there's
Oh,
some
my
where
gosh.
there
But I
there
can
was
grow
one.
up one
He's
night or two
18
when I
years old.
Oh,
He's still in. He skipped graduation to come to this competition,
really?
and he fooled them by, you know how steaks come in the cellophane wrapper
Right,
and
right.
the white plastic thing.
Yes.
He fooled them into thinking that his cake was actually a steak.
Oh, no.
Yes, it
Oh,
was.
my gosh.
They have
Nice.
usually they have one comedian one person who knows about baking or cooking or whatever, and then one person who knows about the subject, like the fashion thing. They would have like a fashion person in the fashion industry, stuff like that.
Way,
so that's where they get their judges from.
Oh,
That's
I
so
love
cool.
that. Oh,
Yeah.
that
Report I
is
did earlier,
fun.
let me know.
Oh my gosh.
And then
Because I want to make sure I'm answering it. As
then
I
the
develop the
then
series.
the other one that that Golden Ticket got me interested in. James got me interested in. I've only seen the first 2 episodes, but Gordon Ramsay has a new competition series
I
out.
did see that. I did, but I have to be in the mood to watch him because I never know
Yeah.
where. Sometimes
Yeah.
he can be too much for me, and I can only handle
But there's
so much
two other
yelling.
there's 2 other chefs involved in this.
Okay.
I've never I've never really been a big fan of like reality TV shows. So when the pandemic first came out, there was that Love is Blind show that
Yeah.
came out.
Oh, yeah.
And it was very interesting to me, and I watched that whole thing, and I was like, wow, these people are really there to meet somebody. They're being honest
Yeah.
and open, and these are the kinds of conversations I wish that more people could have. But then the second one came out, and I couldn't get past the first episode because it was just regular reality TV show then. So
Yeah.
my friend said it got really drama-y and love triangles and stupid stuff. Though I don't know, but that's like pretty much like when it comes to reality TV. That's it. I like cooking shows. I don't like competition shows.
Yeah.
See, I like the cooking shows. I love Chopped.
Yeah. Chopped is fun.
Chopped is.
Wait, is that the one with the
yes.
secret ingredient and it's
Yes.
just the two?
Yeah, it's got
big
three
chefs?
or 3 or 4 secret
No.
ingredients.
That's Iron Chef.
Iron
Oh,
Chef.
yeah.
No, Chopped is where they have a crate full of mystery ingredients,
Yeah.
and they have to use all of those ingredients,
Oh.
and they don't know what they're getting into until they
I-
lift up the.
It's kind of how I cook. I like what's in my fridge.
Yeah.
I would be great at it. I usually call it like a cough casserole, which means for cleaning out the fridge casserole. So it's like cough casserole.
I think we were watching an old one yesterday where there was one episode where everything was chocolate, and then the next episode it was everything that had beer in it.
Ooh.
And so you had to do, and you couldn't serve it, you couldn't drink it. It literally had to be in the food, and you have to taste it, just like you have to taste the chocolate. And it's just interesting when you mix those different things with meats and vegetables and stupid stuff like marshmallows, and
What
crackers and stuff.
What are y'all's favorite shows on HBO? What are your favorite HBO shows?
Right now.
I haven't gotten to it, but my cousin says Barry, so I'm going to just agree with him because we recently started our podcast finally called Cousins Critiquing Content. And basically we'll just critique whatever we watch, which is Sailor Moon right now. But he has awesome recommendations, and he says it is outstanding.
Before we get to that, I want to finish off with explaining what it's called. Next Level Chef.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought we were...
No.
Sorry.
That's okay. But Next Level Chef basically is 3 teams, and each team is randomly given a level to cook out of. And the top level is top level kitchen, the middle level is restaurant quality kitchen, and then the bottom level is the worst kitchen you could ever find. And there's a sort of elevator with food on it, and it starts off at the top. They get all their ingredients, and then whatever's left over, the people on the next level get, and then the leftovers at the very last.
And how do you get to move up a level? Is it just random who gets
Random.
put? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It's all random. That's what the new chef Gordon Ramsay one is.
Yeah.
So
Right, that
that's
sounds,
kind of
so it comes
fun.
down on a dumbwaiter more or less.
Yeah, and
then
you only have so much time to grab ingredients before it goes down to the next level.
And so what's
Yeah.
the lowest level? What do they have that you can cook with? Can you use a microwave? Do they have one available, or a hot plate or something like that?
I think they have hot plates and whisks, the bare minimum.
The bare minimum.
Yeah.
That
so-
would be fun.
Yeah.
That would be fun.
So there was that one. Now on HBO, we've watched Hacks, which is hysterical.
It is hysterical.
And it's very thought provoking too. Rachel, you would like that show.
It is
Hacks.
Oh yeah.
Hacks. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Jean Smart is so good in it.
I love her in that. It is just, she is so, I can see why she keeps winning awards.
Yeah.
But I love that gal, and I always forget her name. I'm sorry, because I
Find
know
it.
that name goes to her character. But she is just silly and fun and dramatic, and I like her.
They had one episode. This was one of my favorite episodes. They had one episode where she went to a regular comedy club. You know, one of the ones you have here in Chicago.
Right.
You know, and she's talking to some of the female comedians, and they're talking about how the owner is always hitting on them, and making penis jokes and stuff like that.
Because she wanted to go back in time,
Yeah.
how she first started off.
Yeah.
Jean Smart.
Yeah. So she got there on stage and basically ripped him a new one and had everybody laughing while she was doing it, and embarrassed. And she,
Yeah, the manager was so embarrassed.
Yeah.
And says she won an Emmy.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's won a couple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Jean Smart in Hacks.
That is.
I did not know
Oh
this.
yeah. So to punch up her material for a younger generation, her agent sends her a Gen Z writer, and the two butt heads. It's smart, funny stuff.
Yeah. And the Gen Z writer, I did not know this. Lorraine Newman,
What?
the daughter.
Oh, you're kidding. Oh my gosh, I didn't know
I didn't know
that.
that either. Yeah.
Just have to
Oh
skip it.
wow, that's pretty. It is a good show.
It
I
is
really
very
like
good.
And
Yeah,
I
it
like-
sounds
I-
interesting.
I
Is that-
like her agent too?
Yeah.
He's always playing a good guy / bad guy. You never know where he's coming from.
Yeah, she went through a messy divorce too, and her husband is the owner of a Vegas, it's Vegas casino, and had her, and is trying to get rid of her show and stuff like that. It's a whole thing. It's pretty
And
funny.
she has a daughter.
She has a daughter, and the daughter is a little princess who is into me.
Yeah.
So and comedian Meg Stalder is in it, and she's hysterical. She plays the.
Well, I'm gonna have to watch this now.
Oh, you would.
and maybe
you would really
should I
enjoy it.
critique it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Meg Stalder plays the receptionist for her agent, and she's like one of the funniest things.
She is funny.
She's like listening in on his conversations, and she's like making comments while. Are you listening to me?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. And her father owns the agency. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
So-
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yes.
That's how
yeah.
she got her job.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she wears this real crazy makeup and stuff like that. It's so funny.
What?
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. What are your favorite genres of shows in general? I've been really into anime lately, and I can make recommendations for anybody. Seriously, they have some very big,
There's some that I really would like to see. That's not one of my favorite
yeah,
genres. I would like to take the time to watch them, though.
yeah.
But I really I like murder mysteries.
The movies the shows.
Shows.
Yeah.
Shows. And
Like the
movies.
formula or the.
The formula.
Yeah.
I just,
Those are fun.
I just do.
They're very popular.
I like to figure it out, and if I can, and I just like the drama of it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know?
I love a good detective story.
Yeah.
Did you have a favorite one?
No, but I'd have to say my all-time favorite, and going back, to junior high school, is probably Agatha Christie. Anything.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
I
wow.
was a big Agatha Christie
Yeah,
fan when
yeah.
I was a kid.
Yeah, and her.
Oh, I didn't realize it had a show.
Oh yeah,
On BritBox or whatever.
BritBox. Yeah, and Hercule Poirot, of course. I love what's her name? I
Miss
forgot.
Marple.
Miss Marple. I love the Miss Marples, but there's nothing like.
I remember
Hercule Poirot.
growing up to Murder, She Wrote, and I was just like, yes,
Oh, I
Angela
know, I
Fletcher.
know. Yes, she was so good. She never got recognized, but that's okay. She's got Tonys and Academy Awards. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I got lucky. I had some great women role models when I was growing up.
yeah,
Gina Davis,
yeah.
badass
yeah.
woman. Anyways. Oh, and then somebody had said that their favorite show on HBO is Euphoria, and if y'all had thoughts on that.
I haven't watched it, but all
Me
I've
either.
heard is good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll watch it. I mean, if it's your favorite show, I'll check it out.
Yeah.
What?
My favorite genres are comedies, horror, reality, science fiction.
Do you love
Oh,
American
science
Horror
fiction?
Story
Yes.
too?
Yes.
I love American Horror Story. Oh, and so this is kind of funny. I was watching The Chilling Tales of Sabrina the Teenage Witch, and Harry looks like the working man version of Evan Peters. And it's like how his acting is also like the wish list level versus Evan Peters, who is just amazing. And I wish he knew my name.
I am on the 3rd season of Creepshow on Shudder, which we have AMC Plus.
Is that good? It looked to me like it was just literally targeted to just make people uncomfortable. I want a story if I'm going to do horror.
There's some really good stories. The story quality has... my favorite story, so I'm on the 3rd season, which there's only been 3 seasons so far. My favorite story, though, had to be in the 1st season. There's this story called House of the Head. Instead of Head of the House, House of the Head. And it's about this little girl who gets this dollhouse.
Okay.
And she has her family in the dollhouse and everything. And then one day before she goes to school, she looks in the dollhouse and she sees the figures not where they were. And they have this look on their face. And then she's looking around and she sees this disembodied head on the bed.
Oh.
And then as the story goes on, she comes back and she sees the dog outside of the house barking at the door, and she looks and she sees the family hiding, and she sees the head at the bottom of the stairs. And then she goes to this toy store to get a policeman and the policeman doll, and she puts the policeman doll in there.
Yes.
And she finds the policeman doll beheaded.
Uh-oh.
Are you giving away spoilers over here?
I am.
So somebody
Spoiler.
in the household is a murderer.
Well, no, it's the head.
The head is the murderer.
The head is the murderer.
Because what happens
Got
is she gets scared, she takes the head out and throws it, and it rolls under the bed, and then she realizes that she really shouldn't have done it, and she goes under the bed and takes out the head, but it's regular size.
Oy.
Yikes.
And she immediately puts it back into the dollhouse, and it becomes,
Miniature.
Yeah, stay
Oh,
there.
That's a
Yeah.
good one. That
So,
is
yeah.
a good one.
yeah.
But that's also somehow like very Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Aren't You Afraid of the Dark was such a good movie.
No, the TV show, the
Oh.
Nickelodeon show.
Oh, okay, no.
Yeah.
Oh, Don't
that
Be
one.
Afraid of the Dark.
Don't Be Afraid of
the Dark was the
Don't
movie.
know that.
Yeah, is that, wait, what was it?
Well, it was originally an ABC movie with...
Oh, okay. And the show is Are You Afraid of the Dark?
The movie was Don't Be Afraid of the Dark.
Okay, and the movie was Don't.
Yeah, and then Guillermo del Toro redid the movie.
Oh,
and
Guillermo
it
del
was
Toro is awesome.
just as
He
scary.
really is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was
I
just
think
as scary, a little bit scarier.
Did you ever see Kronos?
Yes.
Oh my god, that movie has stuck with me my whole life. I was like 15 when I saw it.
Ron Perlman's in that. It's Spanish language, but it's Ron
I
Perlman's
think
in
I
it.
have seen that, but I don't know much
You would know
about it.
it's this some sort of mechanical ancient bug-looking thing that you put on your skin, and it like puts like, and it poisons you, or it's like putting like taking your blood but also giving you something, and you would know.
Eternal life.
And I don't.
It's
Okay.
like
Well,
supposed to be eternal life, sort of.
Don't
But
give it away.
Yeah,
Well, that's all right.
No.
but it changes
Yeah.
it. Let's
It
just say
changes. Yeah,
Yeah.
things change.
Yeah.
Things change.
And Ron Perlman's the bad guy. He's after the thing, and there's this grandfather who has it, and he has a granddaughter. Is it or grand? I think it's a granddaughter who's trying to protect him.
Okay.
You know, and they're the good guys.
All right. I'll write that one
Yeah.
down too.
So Kronos, yeah.
I saw.
Kronos.
We watched Halloween Kills
Yes.
Saturday.
Yes.
Jason came over for his birthday, and it was. What did you think about it?
We liked it. James and I
Okay.
liked it a lot.
Okay.
We thought that Jamie Lee Curtis, first of all.
Yeah. Yes.
But that ending, the whole ending.
Yes.
But there's going to be another movie.
Another sequel.
Yeah. But it's supposed to be Halloween Ends or something like that.
Yeah, but I wonder.
Yeah.
Because it's just.
Well, they said it's supposed to have.
Oh,
definite
okay. Did you see it? So it's one of the.
No, I'm
last
more of a
Halloween
TV series person. Like, I like a longer arc. I'm not.
Yeah.
I mean, movies are okay, but I feel like too often they try to put too much in the movies.
Yeah.
And I especially don't like it when they try to shove a book into a movie. Like, that thing just had 40 chapters. What are you doing with
Yeah.
Putting it in
90
for an hour
minutes?
and a
Are you
half.
kidding me?
Right,
By the way, you
right.
said you like detective/mystery things.
Yes.
Batman. The Batman.
Oh my gosh! Yes.
Oh, is there a new
Yeah.
one out?
Yeah.
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 The Batman.
Because I've been hearing everybody talk about
Because you
Batman
went to
lately.
see it. Didn't
We
you?
went to see it. Yeah.
Yeah.
3 hours long, but it was worth it. It was.
Is it the origin story again?
No.
Oh, good.
No.
I get so sick of them
He's-
redoing superheroes,
Yeah,
but
he's-
always the origin story.
He's already established. We have the bat signal opens up the thing, so it's already established. But it's more of a detective thing than anything else.
Okay.
And it's like, no, the supervillains don't have special powers.
Yeah.
You know, and
That's what
Kim
that guy
and Mike
said
went to
earlier.
see it, and they really, really liked it.
and it's actually more like how
Wait.
Batman got started in Detective Comics with DC. That's what it's more like.
But they got Robert Pattinson playing.
He's pretty good in it.
Yeah, that's
Is
what,
he?
yeah, that's what my husband said too.
Is-
that he was
oh,
really good.
oh.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, was he
see it
good? Like
myself.
Tom Cruise was really good as
No.
the.
Anything you say now.
No, do you?
Reacher?
Yes, as Jack Reacher.
No.
Like, was he good? Like, yeah.
No,
because
the guy
I'm
who
so glad
does
that they're
Reacher
finally.
now.
Yeah.
That is so.
That is
good,
Jack Reacher.
isn't it? Yes, it is to a T.
Yeah. So like that's
much
when I'm
better.
like I'm thinking Tom Cruise to who Jack Reacher is supposed to be, and Robert Pattinson to who Batman is supposed to be. But y'all are saying he's good, but I'm gonna still just be like, is he?
Yeah.
I'm gonna stay with this until I see it. I'm just not sure I buy it.
Yeah. And then, movies. We saw The Adam Project with.
I was just looking at that. Is that good?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yes,
All
it
right.
is.
Okay.
And let me tell you, you've all seen. You know, usually when you see a
Preview?
no, what's his name? I can't believe I forgot. James is going to kill me. The actor.
Who plays in the movie?
Yeah. Oh, he's going to Ryan Reynolds. Okay.
Oh, I love him.
Yeah, whenever
Yes.
he usually has that same sort of smart-ass thing going on with him.
Yeah.
Well, in this movie, they have him as a child, and the kid nails it.
Does it?
He is so Ryan Reynolds as a
Oh,
kid.
wow.
The way he talks to his mom, and and
Yeah.
talks to the bullies that are bullying him and stuff like that.
You
He's a total smartass.
Okay.
And it's funny.
Speaking of kids in movies, I really liked. We watched Belfast, and oh my gosh, that was so good. And the little boy that's the main character. He is wonderful, and with the Irish brogue and just cute little blonde haired guy, and he's just wonderful in it. He really is, but it's a really good story. And I'm not that much of a fan of Kenneth Branagh.
Yeah.
But this one, he did really well.
I don't think I've seen a new film since COVID. I know I haven't been in the movie theaters,
Yeah.
I don't think,
I haven't either.
but
Yeah.
that's why I'm a big TV person. So y'all are gonna talk about all these movies, and I have
we
no
wanna,
idea.
We want to see Death on the Nile.
Well, no, it's on.
I mean, I'd like to see more movies. I've just never been cool going by myself. I've gone to see one movie by myself once, and it was Wonder Woman. And hell yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Wonder Woman, both of them I thought were really good.
I just saw the one.
1984 was a little disappointing for me because it was kind of like, really? You knew him for 6 weeks and now all of a sudden you can't let it go? This doesn't sound like you at all. You can't let it go for 60 years?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? That's not Wonder Woman.
Two different Wonder Womans, two different directors,
Yeah.
to everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the interpretation, their own interpretation. There's a one.
Yeah, the first one when it came out, like, a lot of women cried on that scene when she walked onto the battlefield.
Yeah.
And she's like, I am no man.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Gilded Age. Is anybody watching Gilded Age?
No.
And it's by the same director and writer of
Bridgerton?
Downton Abbey.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it's set. Only this one is set in New York City with the Rockefellers and the Astors and the everything. Actually, I sent something to James about it, but it's not exactly what I was hoping it would be. But it's very good. But it does talk about those families during the 1800s when you had to be accepted only if you were old money, which you didn't have to work for, you know.
It's
but
so
you didn't have to
stupid.
it was.
You weren't born rich? Well,
Yeah.
you'll just always be worthless.
Exactly.
Okay.
That's exactly what it is. So it's very, very interesting. But
And that's kind of thinking of the male supremacy movement. Like one of the things that Return of Kings say is like that beta men or like less anybody in liberal wants to take things from the pretty and talented and give it to the weak and ugly and incompetent, and like that's all everything is just like. Wait, being pretty is not, like, doesn't entitle you to things, though.
no, it doesn't.
And he sure thinks it does.
You know, it's. I'm glad you're bringing these things up because as I've gotten older and married longer, I forget. Not all the time, because there were a few incidents when I was younger, with the way men were, and the men that I met.
Yeah.
So it brings it back, and it's like a reminder. Don't forget.
Oh, yeah.
Don't forget, because there are women younger than you, and they need your support, and you need to give it to them.
I think, I was talking with my mom the other day, and I think, honestly, it's maybe worse for us right now, because they're, like, men are now embracing this ideology that they could and should use violence and coercion if we're not going to give it to them, and more women are more women are stopping getting married and divorce and everything, which I actually did a mini lesson on divorce, which, by the way, rates are down since the 2000s. Mm-hmm. Do you know that millennials wait longer to get married but are more likely to stay married than previous generations? So
excellent.
Yeah, that's what you should do. Don't get married when you're 18.
No.
Excellent.
I think I was about to make a point, and I forgot where I was going.
But
it's just worse right now.
Yeah,
I mean, because there's so much violence and trickery and hatred and
entitlement.
Yeah.
And disrespect.
Well, and then when
goes with that. Yeah.
Well, and when you're raised, like, to be a man is to reject anything that could be feminine about you, whatever we've defined this as.
Right.
Like, you hate those qualities. So you hate them in men, you also hate them in women. So you therefore just hate women, and they know that they're supposed to sexually want them, and that's why that's all they are. Like, they just view women as place to get sex and not.
You're right, and just.
And I know this isn't the first time in history.
No,
I just think it's worse now than it was. Maybe.
It sounds like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
because they're organized.
Yeah. Because it is organized. It's not just a few here and there. I remember in high school that my best friend and I wanted to. I mean, home ec was enough. I mean, okay, we knew how to sew, we know how to cook, and that wasn't where we were going to go with any of that stuff anyway. And we wanted to take shop.
Yeah.
And we couldn't take shop.
Could the men take home ec?
No.
Yeah.
But the guys didn't want to take them. There was
Same.
a couple that wanted to take, but they weren't going to fight for it. But we tried to fight for it.
I wanted to
It
take
went
woodworking.
nowhere. Yeah.
Instead I had to learn how to.
My dad was a cabinet maker. I wanted to learn all
Yeah,
that.
and meanwhile, we got to learn how to scour a kitchen sink with Comet.
Oh,
okay,
my
thank
gosh,
you.
Or the best way to make a pie.
Oh my
you
God.
know. So it's just, thank goodness that has changed.
Yeah.
And God forbid we should ask to be on a football team or,
Well, they're going to go
anything
after
like that.
our right to vote soon.
Yeah.
Once they take away our reproductive rights, the next step for them, literally, and I read in a quote earlier, is to take our vote. That's what they want.
100 years later.
Mm-hmm.
Jeez.
Okay, back to something fun though.
Yeah.
What new music is everyone into?
Well, I have been listening to. Hold on a second. I'm just the Republican research.
Those cookies are good.
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
They're saying that she that Ketanji Brown Jackson voted 100%. Gave 100% of the below standards, and I'm like, that was debunked like the next round of questions.
They're talking about with Ted Cruz?
Yeah.
Oh
Immediately.
Do you know how they got that number? Do you remember?
Yeah.
So what they did was, to get this number 100%, Ted Cruz picked like 6 cases that when the prosecutor asked for example, 90 months. And like, I think the lowest she went was the one who asked for 90 months, and she gave them,
It was
I don't know, like 60.
Yeah, it was like,
But everything else was like 50 to 40 maybe, or 50 to 45. And anyways, and he goes, that's a this percent markup. This is a this. And then when we add these all up, that's 100%. Like, that is not how math works, you moron. You didn't even put in all the cases. You didn't even do a comparative analysis to the rest of judges.
yeah.
Like, she's in line. She's like, right in,
Unfortunately, people are going to believe him.
I know, but that's not even how math
Well, no,
works.
No, I know.
Ronna McDaniel was the first one to retweet the RNC research thing.
Who?
Ronna McDaniel, the GOP chairwoman. She tweeted out the RNC research video of him saying, goes through 6 child pornography cases where Ketanji Brown Jackson imposed a sentence far below federal guidelines and what prosecutors were requesting. And she's like, 100% of the time. I'm like, no, that's 5% of the time.
Right.
That's 4% of the time. You don't understand how math works. There's a percentage there. If you're using 100% of those 5 times, yeah.
That's ridiculous.
These people have jobs.
Yeah. I've got an update on the fire that was.
Ooh,
in
fire.
Evansville.
Yeah.
So it was the discount store JoJo's and also a mattress store have to be torn down with a 3-alarm fire, even though they said it was an 11-alarm.
I guess the other 8 went
And the
home.
roof, and the roof collapsed. Apparently, there were customers and employees inside the store at JoJo's Discount at the time.
They needed their stuff
They
that
needed it
bad?
on the 2nd floor. They think it's where the storage area was, but they're going to investigate it. And so the damage is obviously pretty bad. But it did look like, with the helicopter view that I was watching on my phone, is that it was like pretty much everything west. All the rest of the stores were pretty damaged. So,
But nobody's hurt.
nobody's hurt.
That's good.
Yeah.
Oh, this in because
100 firemen, by the way,
wow.
were there.
100.
Yeah.
They are
they got
heroes.
past Thomas.
Yeah.
I know. I was just thinking, like, damn. I love me some firemen.
Yeah, does he like one in a uniform?
Who doesn't like firemen? They're the real heroes.
Absolutely.
I call firemen before I call police.
So anyway,
Oh, speaking of, I did call the police this week.
oh
Do you want to hear this story?
yeah,
Sure.
So, a couple weeks ago, I got this message from a man. Let me actually just find this thing and read it to you. But I received this message from this guy on Facebook, and he was like, from 2 years ago, on this day. Here, let me find this. No, that's not it. That's my sand sculpture. I did a sand sculpture too.
oh. While you're looking for that,
Okay,
okay.
I found it. So he writes to me, "Hey Rachel, you may not remember me, but 2 years ago on this day, you were going through some stuff. You called me a sexist, which probably doesn't narrow it down much for you since you're completely psycho in our interaction. That said, I worry. I'm an empath. Did you get on a mood stabilizer? Were you able to Google sexist? And this message was so hilarious to me that I have no idea who this person is, by the way. 2 years to the day, you called me a sexist. Okay,
Ooh.
so then he, crazy woman, get on mood stabilizer, calls himself an empath, and I posted, this thing's gone viral. Like, people, and he got tagged in one of them, they recognized him, and he saw himself getting made fun of and dragged by literally hundreds of people. And I mean, it's everywhere now. I mean, everywhere, yeah. Which is funny, but he lives in Chicago. And I don't know who he is. I couldn't find a conversation I had with him online. And I don't know if I was just being paranoid or whatever, but I could have swore I saw him walking a dog on my street the other day. And then 2 nights ago at 3 a.m, my apartment was somebody started buzzing my alarm, and I ran to the windows to see, but I just saw some legs walking away. And I don't know who it was, and I was like, well, what if I met this guy in real life? What if I really did see him? So I could have the police come and look around and make sure.
Yeah.
You need to go somewhere? Yeah, so I called the police, and, I had my gun with me.
Good.
But,
Yeah.
That is scary.
It's scary. I mean, you're
is.
still thinking about this from 2 years later, and you're still mad enough to,
That
send
sounds
me this.
psychopathic.
That
Yeah,
does.
yeah, that's what a lot of
Yeah.
people. This person's like, this is unhinged. Oh, and then he blocked me, so that I couldn't. He blocked me before I even saw it.
Is there any way they can find out his name at all?
I know his name, but here's the thing. I think it's a nickname. So his name is Nicholas, Gnames. So it looks like Gnames, but if the G is silent and maybe also the S, it's nickname.
Mm-hmm.
That would.
Yeah.
But he's got different profiles, but they look like some of them are opposing on different social medias, and they look to me like.
He's just crying for attention.
Where'd she go? Oh, she's here. I thought she was by the door.
Oh.
Yeah.
He's crying for attention.
I am hoping I'm
Yeah.
not the only anniversary, which somebody has coined the term sexist-versary for me. I can't believe I forgot my own anniversary, y'all. We had so
That'll
much.
show you. You
Yeah,
won't have that happen again.
Yeah, we had so
Yeah.
much fun with this. I mean, this is the definition of living rent-free in somebody's head for years. And this person says, not an empath, just a walking red flag.
Yeah, that is scary. That is good that you called the police.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, going back to Ted Cruz real quick. Sorry, but this just in, Amy Well, this happened and I missed it. I don't know how I missed it. Amy Klobuchar put in a letter from Judge Ludwig supporting Judge Jackson. If you don't know who Judge Ludwig is, he's the judge that Ted Cruz clerked for. So the judge that Ted Cruz clerked for actually put in a supporting letter for
her.
Judge Jackson. Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
So yeah.
Who did that?
The judge that Ted Cruz used to work for, he was the clerk for. He actually put in a supporting letter into Judge Jackson.
Yeah.
And Amy Klobuchar read it in front of Ted Cruz. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
For
Next.
Brown?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Judge,
Say-
yeah.
Oh, his name was Jackson. Okay.
Her last name is Jackson.
Okay, I see what you're doing. I see what you're saying now. Yeah, so that's also how she gets dinner. I don't know if you saw me do. I brought a little bit of kibble.
Oh, that's
So to keep her entertained, I toss her kibble around the house, and she goes and looks for it, and it's her favorite time of day.
Aww.
Her tail's usually just going the whole time.
Yeah.
She's lazy. You gotta get your dog moving. I recommend it to anybody who has a dog and they don't want you to just lay down and eat it out of the bowl. She will lay down and eat if it's in a bowl. I can't even get her to stay at the beach park. She's I have to use treats to lure her there, and then she's she'll even fake limp to try to get me to leave. And then as soon as we start heading back, she's like, "We're going to the bar," and she'll take off running.
Oh, wow.
Rogers
How
Park
old is
Social. She's 12. So
Yeah.
her
An old
her
frog,
expertise is in communication and manipulation.
Yes.
I have rewarded her for being cute and clever her whole life, and it has definitely been working against me.
By the way, something else that I totally missed, and now people are wondering on Twitter about this. Behind Judge Jackson, there was an armed officer, and they're wondering why he was there behind her, and whether there were any kind of threats or anything.
Oh, so she was being held at gunpoint to say that? Is that what they're saying now?
No, that she was under a threat. They were threatening her.
That she
From
might-
being able to support Kajani Brown?
Well, no, Brown Jackson. Her last name's Ketanji Brown Jackson.
Oh, why
is
am
her
I?
name.
Okay.
But
That's what's going wrong in my head.
But the thing is that he's standing behind her, and you could see the gun in his holster, and we're like, well, they're like saying, why was he standing behind her that close? And hopefully there wasn't any kind
I
of
hope
death
not.
threats against her.
I'm sure there
hope
are.
not.
I'm sure there are.
I mean,
I know,
Yeah.
but I
I
just.
know.
I mean, and they may not be overt. There's absolutely a threat for her right now, though. Being the first black woman,
Yeah.
absolutely. She is definitely under threat, and she definitely should have guards with her. And she probably has more in the area.
Well, I hope she does. Yes, I
hope
that.
she does.
I just don't want to think that.
Yeah. Well, and when they stand that close, too, it's also because to, like, shield her from
Yes.
potential things. I wish Putin was that scared.
Well, didn't he move his family somewhere? I thought he was. I thought
Maybe.
he
Oh, see-
did.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm really back to my catamaran, like my weekly wish to put out in the world.
Yeah.
I would love if somebody confiscates a smaller Russian catamaran
Oh, yeah.
yacht
That's right.
and
that's
donate
right.
it
Yeah.
to me. That would be wonderful. I will be bouncing around and reporting on stories from all over the world. So I think it would be a good idea to just turn one over to me.
Sharing is caring.
Yes.
Yes.
And I will use it caringly.
See, we've been on the air and we've been missing some of the ongoing things going on with Judge Jackson. But Mazie Hirono, she asked, she's a Democrat. She asked Judge Brown Jackson whether she has ever been accused of or convicted of sexual harassment or assault. Wink, wink.
They asked her that?
She asked her that, but knowing that the answer is no. She knows that but going to the Kavanaugh thing.
Yeah.
That was a direct reference to the whole Kavanaugh
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
So half of these people are just talking about other.
Well, mostly Republicans, but she just did this,
To be cheeky?
Yeah. About Clarence Thomas and Kavanaugh.
Yeah.
So she just slyly asked if she had ever been convicted of sexual harassment or assault. Mm-hmm.
Or even accused.
Yeah.
Nope.
No.
Ugh, did I show you that video? They were interviewing this woman, and she was this Trump supporter. She was wearing Trump clothes and everything. And they were interviewing her, and she's like, well, have you ever, and she's like, an Obama, like, you've never heard anybody say that he molested them or sexually assaulted them because, like it was something bad. Like, nobody wanted to be messed up by him. Like, wait, because he hasn't gone after other women is what was problematic to her.
Yeah.
Like maybe, I don't even know what her interpretation was, but she's like, everybody wants to be sexually assaulted by Trump. And I was like, I don't think you understand. Nobody wanted that. Everybody's tried to sue him and bring cases against him, and then he uses money in the mob to keep people quiet. Literally.
It's like that woman that had that wore that T-shirt said, "Hey Trump, grab me by the,"
Mm-hmm.
with a arrow pointing down.
Yeah. Jesus.
Yeah, I know.
People.
So, yeah.
And it was a woman who was saying it, and the guy who was interviewing was like, I never thought of it like that. Like, nobody thinks of it like that. That doesn't make any sense. That is not the right way to think about it.
Yep.
That's the wrong thing.
this I'm just looking at this from this happened 6 hours ago, but they're still doing the January 6th trials and stuff like that.
I need to be watching those. The only thing is, like, I feel like I watched it all live, and I don't feel like there's anything that I didn't really know about.
The sentences are progressively getting bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One
Totally
second.
forgot about that.
Okay.
Okay. So, January 6th defendant Coy Griffin of New Mexico, and somebody was following his trial, and there is a Griffin supporter in a Release the Kraken jacket following after prosecutors outside courthouse screaming, "There is no security out there to intervene." This guy faces up to a year in prison. Sentencing is happening in June.
Well, I guess I should watch more of it. I guess now is the point. All that other stuff was like, they're letting these people off pretty light.
Well, the thing is, I think the most so far somebody's gotten has been 10 years. 10 years is, but they'll be...
Oh, wait, what, didn't they just charge somebody with sedition?
Yeah.
And that's
10 years.
Only 10 years?
Yeah. But that means he can get out early.
Yeah.
On good behavior.
I know, that's crap, right, Reese?
And, but as I said, this is such a big thing that it's not going... Trump's not getting arrested overnight. He will get...
Trump's going to die before he ever spends a day in jail.
Yeah. But his family is going to have to take that legacy on. Because...
His family's going to have to move to Russia.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they can stay there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I remember growing up during the Mafia trials and the Senate hearings on the Mafia, the New York Mafia.
Oh, especially where you were living at the
Oh,
time.
yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, I mean, all over New Jersey, Pennsylvania, New York, Delaware. Yeah, Mafia, all over the place. I lived in Philadelphia. Skinny Joey Merlino was the Mafia boss at the time. We would always hear stories. There was actually a gunfight in front of a school that we just missed.
Damn.
We were driving through it.
No.
We
Damn.
just missed a gunfight between Hell's Angels and some Mafia people.
Shit.
Yeah.
Who won?
Neither.
Good.
But the kids had to stay in place because they couldn't go outside.
Yeah.
So and then
New York in the 70s
Yeah.
sounded wild, like
My-
a whole other world.
my stepmother's last main name is Bruno, and she lived in Pennsauken, New Jersey, and she lived around the corner from Angela Bruno. So she kind of was like, no, I'm not the same Bruno.
No.
That's not.
That
our
would be
family.
kind of scary.
I would just put a sign on my door that says, not that Bruno.
Not that Bruno.
Not that Bruno.
I'm not that Bruno.
Except that Bruno might be a little upset with her.
But that Bruno might not, because they're like, no, that's true. I'm that Bruno.
Yeah.
I'm that Bruno.
But these trials took a long time.
Yeah.
And the hearings on and the House and the Senate took a long time.
And if I remember, it was Giuliani
Mhm.
that was
Yeah.
Rudolph.
Yeah. He made one good move and then has ridden that way
Has he?
his entire career.
Yeah.
He didn't do it by himself either. He was not
no.
a big player in that case.
No.
I remember I watched a documentary not too long ago. I'm really not into like gangster stuff anyways. Some people like watch a lot of movies and shows. Like I didn't watch The Sopranos, not really interested, but I did want to know what was going on, and I wanted to know what Giuliani's role was, and it was so minor in comparison with the way that you would hear him and his friends tell it.
Yeah. He continues to write on that.
Yeah.
That and 9/11.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what did he do for 9/11? He lives in New York.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. The mayor.
Yeah.
That was it.
But he didn't do anything.
No, he didn't.
No. And I keep telling people, they're saying Merrick Garland's protecting him. No, he's not. He's keeping it on the down low because he doesn't want anything getting spilt. Any tea getting spilt, and he doesn't.
Exactly.
He wants to make sure that somebody who is used to getting out of legal situations doesn't get out of this one.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing.
If there was anybody who had just a slight bit of dementia, it
Yeah.
has to be him.
Yeah.
With
Rudy
Trump.
Giuliani?
Yeah, with Trump and the way things he handled and what he couldn't say, the way he speaks, and yeah. And not.
I mean,
to say
he's
that
definitely-
he's guilty. I mean, there's no doubt about it.
Yeah, he's definitely very weird.
Yeah, and I think that's
Like,
where
his impersonations. I
really think that's that's where.
What is this?
You got your ego. You
Yeah.
know.
Well,
and
Trump and
everything,
Giuliani. Both.
Yeah, exactly, and
And
Yeah.
some people are saying that even Putin has the same kind of issue going on with him, where he's so old.
It happens to I think. Oh yeah, they were talking about Putin, and it was reminding me. I watched that documentary on the age of samurai in the Sengoku period, and one of the guy, because it was like 150 years of civil war. And one of the guys, Oda Nobunaga, who kind of really started trying to bring peace back, only was a complete monster. He scared everybody into staying by his side until he made a big decision that started going wrong, and lost money for the people who are closest to him. So that's when they were like, I don't know. I don't think we can keep this guy around. So that's what I'm thinking is we're going to have, and then he was usurped because he messed up too bad. I don't remember exactly what. So they killed him, and then they took charge.
Putin needs to stay away from hospital windows.
Putin is with his behavior and how angry his oligarchs are. He's in danger, and I'm glad.
Yeah.
I hope it does end soon. I hope they settle that in house. But then also, I hope we never give the autocrats their money back.
Yeah.
yes,
Maybe to the people, if we could guarantee.
yeah.
But there's no way they should get their money back. They supported this guy.
Can we just get a global workers' movement already? For real?
Yeah.
This is ridiculous. Sorry. That's a big story.
Yeah.
That's a big idea. Let's end the show on.
Okay.
Well, if only.
Yeah. Well, anyway, that's it for the show, folks. Thanks again to everybody. Katie, is always a pleasure having you by my side. And Rachel, thank you for being here.
Thank you for
sharing,
letting me.
Sharing
Yeah.
is caring. And I guess we'll see everybody next week. Hope Thomas can get the smell of smoke out of Kitty's fur.
Yeah.
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 I should.
guys.
We should
Smoky
go.
kitty fur now.
We should
No,
go check and
no.
see if any of those firemen are still standing around.
I bet they still are.
I bet they are. I'm just kidding.
Oh, it's so funny too because when I first moved into my place, I had a group of people over, and a good friend at the time, Gray Dolan, comedian, and Thomas were there. Gray said, "What's that across the street on the other, all the way over on the other block?" And I said, "Oh, it's a fire department." She goes, "Oh," and she saw binoculars, immediately took the binoculars
Started
and
looking.
started looking
Yeah.
over there. Yeah. So anyway, that's it for the show. Rachel, anything coming up?
Yeah, just a reminder that with the Quarantine Queens Theater Company next month, I believe we're doing it on April 17th, but I will verify the date. We will be doing our Just-in-Time show, The Unkindest Cut, which is the comedic noir piece of a literary detective solving crimes in historical classical books. It's going to be a lot of fun. And I'm going to be continuing to develop the Male Supremacy series. So I probably, it's a lot to just put on just one show. So I'm going to try to put the whole thing together, but I'll be bringing bits of it so that we can learn and get that language and understanding, because it's going to bring a whole new perspective to people's view on what things are actually happening. Because, sometimes when the world's going a certain way, you're like, I don't understand it. And then you find out a whole movement exists under that. And you're like, holy crap.
Yeah.
That is very scary.
Very.
So let me scare everybody with me.
Good topic.
Katie, you have anything going on, or?
I have nothing going on. I will.
You just
next
retired,
month.
right?
I just retired. Yeah. But
April, the end
but
of April.
something- yeah, something going on in April, and I'll talk about that next week.
Ooh,
Yeah.
excited.
And Reese, anything going on with you? No?
She said, I am staring hard. I'm certain there must be McDonald's French fries somewhere.
She may have smelled them on me because I had French fries in my new car.
I have some right there.
Oh, do you? I love it.
I acted like I threw them out, but she knows they're not gone.
She probably
You should see Reese when she pulls up to a McDonald's, let alone
Really?
actually at fries.
Oh,
She
wow.
like starts trying to spin in my lap. She's too long for that, and she's like,
She has to get to the window,
"Sorry, I'm making fun of her." She's yelling at me.
and she has to get up into that window even before they get to the
Oh, I
house.
bet. Oh.
Yeah,
And they love her.
You
Yeah.
have got to put that on YouTube. I have been watching dogs
Yeah.
and cats on YouTube. The most smartest human, or doggy, smart ones, and it's just so much fun to watch it. It's just they're like humans.
Yeah.
They really are.
Oh, and speaking of dogs, Hamilton and Olivia on Twitter, on Instagram, their owner just got approached over the weekend to do a show based on his videos of Hammy and
Oh,
Olivia.
and how many followers does your?
Oh, let's see.
Yeah, we got to find out how many followers. You got 1 minute.
1,700 and let me get an exact total here. 1,788.
Oh,
Nice.
fantastic!
Nice.
Yeah, all for little fluffy, stuffed, cute as can be doggy. Lucky the practice corgi on Instagram. We follow a lot of the corgi, but the Hammy and Olivia is so funny. I'll have to send you some.
Yeah, you will have to because I
James sent
please do.
Jane sent me one based on Hot Girl Summer. That was so funny. It was so funny with Olivia's annex. Olivia sees the queen with her corgis and then immediately wants to be queen and commands.
Oh, I
Hammy.
see. I like.
Yeah.
Please send that to
Yeah.
me. Absolutely.
Olivia wearing a bra.
I'm a big girl.
Like you're wearing it over your ears. That's not where it goes. Yeah, that's so cute. Anyway, that's it for the show, everybody. Thanks for tuning in, and we will see you next week. Good night, Chicago.
Good night, sweetheart.
We are.